Well, we are jumping straight into the action tonight. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another round in SSRL. It is Division 1 action here on the GDave11 Twitch channel. Of course, we usually bring Division 2, but because Herman is out of action as of right now, I am in place. And I do have a special guest with me this evening. It's Quincy. I believe your stream's working a bit better now. It had sound last time I checked, so...
Yeah, my mistake. Totally a noob when it comes to OBS. But yeah, we are live and raring to go. Moksha's still on top at a 142.6, and still looking around to see who's going to challenge him. Controlling on outlap right now. Oh, Andy Andre, 141.979. Just as I talk.
And that is really to no one's surprise, obviously. Current, well, 3 times in a row champion between Division 2 and 4. Division 2 and 4? Season 2 to 4. And, you know, I mean, that's the pace he can display. He is an absolute rocket on track. And there you go. It just says as it is, even though Control, throughout this season, has proven to be a regular challenger. We've got a couple, of course, this is Division 1, and of course, do you want to just go through the divisions, just in case for anybody who is new to this?
Okay, so Monday Division 1, anyone who's available on a Monday can race in Division 1. Doesn't matter about the pace because it's all mixed here. Tuesday Division 2, that's where it all began, pretty much the same thing. Pace varies throughout the grid, but what we try to do in the silly season is make sure every fast partner has a counterpart that's not as fast, so that the team battles at the end of the season are going to be very close, and that's what we try to maintain and have the fun. That's where the fun comes here.
Absolutely, and it has been 2 seasons of excellent fun. I started here in Season 3, and oh, was it Season 3? Yeah, it was Season 3, wasn't it? So this is my 3rd season of commentating, and I must say, I have to admit, it is a fantastic league. I have had so much fun whenever I come on here, whether it's been a Monday, most recently, or even a Tuesday. It has been just excellent stuff. But as of right now, we've got to focus our minds to today, and as we've just seen already, Andy Andre on top. We still have a few drivers that are waiting to do an outlap. Let's take a look at our most recent winner, Fellow Son. Could have done 3 in a row across the 2 divisions, but just sadly what didn't quite come to fruition. I believe that he's going to be on top. I believe that he is going to be on top here on Spa, or at least be one of the contenders. He needs a good result, and well, as soon as I say that, he puts in a flying lap on the soft tyres. 2 laps old though, so there's still time to find, and we still have a few minutes of the session to go. But who are you looking out for here in Spa, and what would be the key to success around this great track?
I think whoever starts P2 or P3 probably better, or who ends in P2, P3, because it's going to be a long way up the Kemmel Straight, and we all know how it goes when you get a nice slipstream and some DRS down there.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the unique factors as well. It's such a long distance, as we've seen Control go up into 2nd there with a 142.5. Moksha still in 3rd place, has just begun a flying lap on fresh soft tires. But that's the thing, you don't always want pole position here, because as you say, there's so many long straights. You've got Radion through to Eau Rouge, and then, like, you know, as you say, it's flat, so you don't actually necessarily want to be on pole, because then you're the one with the separating the air going through the straight, and of course you're giving everybody else behind that slipstream advantage, and it hurts to actually start from there.
Yeah, and I've had a great look at setups and stuff recently. There may be a lot of people running some different setups. A lot of people running maybe a 2-wing with a 0 rear wing, and then you've got other people running like a 15 at the front and 2 at the rear. So it all depends on how they do with their setups, because keep in mind the straight is great, but you're going to need that extra downforce for sector 2, which Moksha is in right now. He looks struggling a little bit as he exits this corner that I have no idea what the name is. They're just going to have to be very careful tonight with how they apply their setups, especially with the wings.
That is a very important one, and I think I remember talking to one of my friends who looks into this as you've done yourself, and he's very surprised by the fact that, you know, you can get away with 0 ring round here, but of course, as you say, the corner speed is the main deficit Here we go, though. Moksha's about to cross the line. It is an improvement of 500ths there, but no positional improvement. So the Williams at the moment, though, locking out 3rd and 4th. We also have Enzo, who actually has served a bit of a race ban. Quincy, do you want to give a little information on that?
Yeah, so he intentionally caused a collision with another driver. So he's quite lucky to still be in the league, to be honest. But I've known him for a long time, so I know he's not normally this way inclined. So, you know, everyone deserves some second chances and whatnot. So he served his 3 race bans. He had a 30-second penalty for his last race that he just came out of Singapore in Division 2. And he also had a qualifying ban there as well. So he still has to be very careful because in SSRL, we keep the season's points for the entire of the next season. So every point that he got last season, which was season 4, from Division 2, he will carry for this whole season, and he's got 8 currently in his tally. So he needs to be very careful, otherwise he'll be in for some more time penalties and quali bans.
Absolutely. By the way, I've just noticed, is Andrew a new one?
Andrew, yes. So Andrew is a reserve driver, a 16-year-old phenomenon. He's definitely one to watch for tonight because he is very quick, lightning quick.
I've commentated over him in another league called URC. It was Season 7, and he took that championship. So I do know a little bit about him. I've come across his name before. And yes, as you say, Quincy, a 16-year-old phenomenon from Romania. So Andy Andre there will be very happy that he's in good company. And
happy
well,
and sad.
But yes, no, it is Battle of the Romanians potentially on tonight. So I can't wait for that.
It's going to be brilliant. I mean, he's a smashing young guy, very respectful on track. I've seen him race a lot of times in my friend Rowley's league. Rowley, who's racing here tonight with us, he's in the Ferrari. Yeah, he runs a realistic division league on a Sunday, a PlayStation only. And yeah, Andrew is always topping the timetables in there. This kid is quite magical on track, so definitely one to watch.
I've just seen Race Chase start a flying lap, but I think we should go on board with Andrew, this wonder kid. And at the moment now, he is just coming through to what is Eau Rouge through to Radion. And there you go, that's the left, right, the left again, but flat through there. Now you want to open your DRS for the first zone round the lap. And here we go, down, coming into Lacombe. Brake at just before the 50-meter ball. That was later than I thought he was going to go, but manages to make it stick through the left, right, lefts, and then right again. And then this downhill, long right-hander. Don't brake too late or else you'll miss the apex there. But Andrew going a bit wide at the end there, and that sets him up perfectly for Jackie Ink's corner. And there you go, meeting that apex now through the long left-hander. All the downforce you have, foot to the floor, and beautifully taken through there. Pouon executed to perfection. Now coming onto this medium to high speed corner, right through there, meet the apex, left through there, meet the apex again. Find that exit curb. Now you want to set yourself up for Campus Corner. That's a bit wide there from Andrew, so you'll need to perfect that. Don't really want the gravel on the exit. Now through this other right-hander, foot to the floor. Get that exit curb. Now set yourself up because it is a long straight here. This long left-hander. And now Blanchimont through here. Set yourself up now for the bus stop chicane. You want to park yourself on the left-hand side. Brake at the 100-meter board. Meet the first apex, but you're going to go a bit wide here for the left-hander. Now you want to go foot to the floor as early as you can and then get on that DRS yet again. And that is second place, Quincy.
Yeah, the middle sector cost him there. He was, I believe, 3/10 down on Control's purple middle sector, which was a 43.1, and he did a 43.4. So yeah, the middle sector really let him down there.
Absolutely. You saw it as he went through Campus Corner as well. He took some of that gravel, and that does cost you a few tenths, so that's definitely where his time's improved. But as soon as I say that, he's not going to find any more pace because the checkered flag is out. The session is over. Andy Andre will be one of the first to cross the line, but we have a kick Sauber, and that is Diego going straight into the pits, so he's not going to improve. We have another car there, which I'm trying to identify. I think that's Race Chase. No, it's not. It's certainly one of the Red Bulls, but I'm not sure who that was across the line. But anyway, Andy is next. And my word, Quincy, 141.6.
Goes faster, wow. He is really biting down now, I think. I think he saw the first opening rounds has been very tight. You know, you got Fellas in hot on his tails, Control, obviously with the multiple poles as well. So he knows it's not going to be easy, and I feel like he's just trying to do a repeat of what the last Spa race held for him, which was the win.
Absolutely. And also, I was just looking at the championship table just while I was on my lunch break earlier today, and I noticed, Control losing it though through the exit of the bus stop. He doesn't improve, down by a couple of seconds in the last sector, so that was unfortunate, but he'll start third place. And well, we
Which
still
is
have...
not too bad either, you know, with how this track goes, starting third is not such a terrible thing.
Not at all, no. So really, it'll be Andy Andre who's vulnerable. But yeah, no, that's it for the flying laps. Although Rush the Series are one, they're down in 20th place. Quincy, take this home.
Okay, so on board with Rush, bus stop chicane, cuts to the right, cuts to the left, slowly on throttle, and he boots it down. Let's see where he gets to.
Oh,
Third place, wow! This is one of Rush's favourite tracks, so it doesn't surprise me to see him in the top 5. That's a pretty good last sector as well. He's got purple first sector, purple second sector there. So, yeah, watch out for him.
absolutely.
P3.
And there we go. Well, Control did knock down another place, but I was able to get this, right? I was looking at the table earlier on, and I was looking at where Andy had finished previously, and I can now say he's 2 for 2 in 2.
Yep.
I love
Spa
that.
Spa is I think Andy's playground. He seems to have hooked it up very nicely.
Absolutely. But anyway, now as we prep for as we finish with qualifying, we are now going to prep for a 50% race. Quincy, what are the laps that we're going to see?
No idea currently. I think between 140, 144, maybe 150.
Sorry, I meant the
Hopefully.
total of laps in the race.
Oh, total laps. We've got 22 laps tonight. 22 laps, 50% race. We've got a 2-stop. Now, I believe, according to the strategy that we were looking at, that it's going to be softs involved at some point, I think, today. Some people are going to be using some softs, which is what you don't normally see, but you may see some soft runners.
Absolutely. I am noticing Robastian here with no time. Is he serving a quali ban?
No, he is not. I'm not sure what happened to Sebastian. I saw that he retired a little bit early. Just going to check the race director to see. Oh, no. Went too quickly there. I'm not sure exactly what happened to Sebastian.
Well, if he gets on the podium, I'm sure we can find out sooner rather than later. But anyway, no formation lap this time around because of bugs. So we will not proceed. Well, we will get straight into the racing once we're loaded in.
Actually, we're going to have the usual 3-minute breaks for strategies.
Absolutely.
Let's just type that in there.
In terms of strategy, you already mentioned the soft tyres, but of course, I remember talking to you. I think it was last week after Singapore, and you were talking about how you were like literally close to the top. So, if you were in the position, let's say you were within the top 5, what's the strategy you've been looking to play?
Oh, give me 1 second, Dave.
Sure.
1 second.
Sure. Take your time.
Right, so according to my data, the hards are very good here. So I'd be looking to go for a harder tyre allocation. I'd start on softs, I'd pit early and try and undercut with a double hard strategy. That would be my play. Now, everyone may not do that. Everyone may go to medium, soft, wait till the end, maybe a safety car comes out. You know what it can be like going through Eau Rouge. And they may play it differently. That's the beauty of what we're doing here is we really don't know what people are going to do. You know, we really could not guess what. There's no straightforward way to handle the 2-stop.
Of course, as I should probably say, in case if anybody is tuning in for the first time and saying there's a 2-stop, yes, there is a mandatory 2-stop rule in this league. It was recently introduced in, and just while we are on the strategy break, could you explain what inspired you to put that 2-stop rule in?
It was a suggestion from one of the racers, Energetic 6. He went on a suggestion spree, A couple of ideas weren't as great, but I thought that this was actually a very good idea because it's very boring to just be racing, and then the only excitement you really get is the safety car comes out, and then your strategy is a little bit different. So,
Ooh.
oh, look, we got 5 lights. Take it away, Dave.
5 red lights on your screen. It's going Spa, and it is a good start by Andy RJ, but is Andrew equal? No, in fact, he's down a little bit. It's 3 wide into turn 1, but Andy comes out on top for now, but Control down the inside for second place. Rush Nasiri starts where he began in his 3rd place, and everybody else is now just trying to sort themselves out. 6 to 7 drivers on the mediums, and Andy RJ is one of those, and the most people behind him are on the soft, so Andy will be at a little bit of a disadvantage, and here we go. Here's that slipstream advantage we were talking about. There's Rush Nasiri coming back at the McLaren, down the inside into Lacombe. Andrew trying to follow through, but no success. As of right now, they are still side by side for second place. Through the rest of the corner, the McLaren pushed off into the gravel. There's Andrew now trying to take advantage of what happened there. Down to 4th already, but there you go. Andrew gets another position back, and he's now up into 3rd. Quincy, what a start that was.
What a start for Rob there down in P20. He's now 6 places up into P14. What an amazing first couple of corners for him.
Absolutely, as now Control is up into 3rd place there, so fighting back as the Ferraris now for 8th and 9th go side by side into this left and right hander, but sort themselves out. Rolly now up position. Oh, there's been a moment with the McLaren at the back there, just getting onto the track there, as Vero Ducco has lost his front wing, didn't catch the accident, and now he's now going side by side with Jonathan for a brief moment, but that all sorts itself out. But now you look at Rush Nasiri and Andy RJ. Wow, Andy RJ, even on those harder tyres, it has got the advantage.
Going for a move into the bus stop. Will he confirm? Yes, he does. He gets one over on Control. Oh, loses a little bit on the exit there, but Control powers back past him with better traction. Oh, and so does the Williams of Moksha.
Brief moment there with a Red Bull in the background, bringing out a yellow flag. But anyway, as Quincy was saying, side by side now with both Williams getting past Andrew, at least for the time being. Andrew fighting this as hard as he can. I don't want to cut away from this because we're about to see Rush Nasiri get DRS down this straight. Here we go, down the Camel Straight we go, and there's Bowling in the background. Now the lead swaps, and here we go. Now it's 4 wide down the Camel Straight with the Aston Martin of Andrew. They get themselves sorted out eventually, but Control now down to 6th, and this is getting spicy and aggressive here in Spa, but fellow Son up into 3rd place now.
What a move it was. Managed to catch him going wide there with everybody and making the overtake, so well done, Fellison. Control still on the back of Moksha. Enderu making back up some places after losing down to P6, which is good to see from the young Romanian.
Down 2 positions as of right now, and just on board there, well, I say on board, but Robastian now up 8 positions. He's up into 12th place, so he's having an excellent race so far, and that's 8 places in 2 laps. What could that be when we get on to lap 4? It can only be a matter of time before he's surely knocking on the door of the top 10ers now. And the background of that, for 13th place, Slayev goes side by side with Kovachka for 13th, but has to slot in behind for now until the Camel Straight. Enzo as well swapping positions with his teammate Rolly there, down Blanchimont now, and that left-hander as well. We cut back to Robastian for a moment there, up into 11th place. Overtaking happening all over the place. Quincy, battle for 4th.
Yep, so we've got Moksha, who has lost out to the traction for Enderu, and now he is trailing closely. DRS open for Enderu. Let's see if he can bridge that gap to Fellison, who's managed to clear him from the DRS. Let's hope they don't lose each other, because we'd love to see all of these guys stick within the train and get some more battling done.
Absolutely. They gave us a thrilling 4 wide occasion last time out, but now Andy RJ is going to make the move for the lead on Rush Nasiri and gets that done with relative ease. Fellow Son not close enough, but Moksha powers his way back past Andrew as he has no DRS, as does Control. So into Lacombe, Control up into 5th place, and he's just hoping to get settled down and try and maybe get this group back to the top 3, but now it is very much starting to look like the top 3 are getting away, unless if Moksha can do something And you never know, Moksha might begin to help out his teammate. Now, when you're racing, is there any team orders that go on with these drivers, or is it very much a playground for themselves?
I think it's pretty much every man for himself. I mean, we've got people who sometimes are in the voice chat. I know that Rush and his brother Kwan is in the voice chat. They may, you know, offer some team orders sometimes. Me, I will always try and get out of my teammate's way because I know I'm the slower guy, and I won't try to hold him up. I will try within the rules to maybe hold up his rivals if, you know, if I'm that way inclined, if I can. But apart from that, no, not many team orders seen.
All right, thank you very much, Quincy, for that. And at the moment now, we are seeing, well, Rush the Siri was outside that DRS. He luckily stayed within the 1 second within the activation zone, but that gap continues to increase as now the medium tires. Oh, Rush the Siri there again in all sorts of wrong into the first corner there, and that is allowing Fellow Sun through. So Fellow Sun up into second place. There has been a bit of a kerfuffle down at the bus stop chicane, but that quickly sorted itself out as second place continue to do battle with one another. Here we go. Rush the Siri got past somehow, but now in the DRS, it's Fellow Sun still. And look at that. He brings down the gap to Angie there as now Control goes up into fourth place there, Quincy.
Just having a look at Rob, he is back in the DRS. He was 1.7 down to the guys in front to race chase. He's managed to get into the DRS. And he's on the hunt. Where do you possibly see him finishing? I know you didn't have time to maybe do your guessing game, but where do you see Rob finishing tonight?
I mean, listen, this is insane pace on its own, and like, no, Spa isn't very tricky to overtake on, but we've also got to consider that the two-stop strategy, so it really is about how many places he can make up as Andrew with a 3-second track limits penalty there, and he'll have to serve that at the end of the race. So that is unfortunate news for the V-Carb driver there. But at the moment, Robastian, I don't know. He's got to start making up. Well, I say he's got to start making up places. He's been making headway since the start of the Grand Prix. Oh, a bit of a moment there coming out of campus. But, oh, it's difficult for me to say at the moment. I will probably tell you once we're approaching the end of the Grand Prix. That will be the best time to ask me.
This is literally probably a battle for ERS management because, as you know, Spa, very long track. It just eats up your ERS, so I think the winner will win out with ERS management. That's what I think. I think it'll be a mad rush for the end. But I want to bet on Fellison. I think Fellison maybe can do this if he can reach with his strategic mind back up into P1.
We've had a yellow flag in Sector 3. I'm just trying to guess who that is. It's Ingene there. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. If I'm not, please do.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep, Ingene. Yep.
Brilliant.
We have our first pit stop as well. Rowley comes down on the middle tyre. He comes over the line a little bit. I hope he doesn't get a warning for that. But he is now on a medium tyre from a soft.
Well, of course, as we say, I say that's a very interesting strategy, but then I have to kind of remember this is a two-stop mandatory race, so I then have to, of course, say, well, he's got another pit stop to come. So would you say that's soft mediums, Quincy?
I would probably say hard. I think it's a little bit too early for mediums. I think you'll see these mediums go at least 9 or 10 laps before people start charging in. I don't know if he had any damage, maybe. I'm not too sure, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on him and see if he manages to undercut anybody in the top 10 there.
Absolutely. So Rowley, of course, your first pit stopper, apart from Veroduco, who came
Controls at a moment. He's in the gravel. Oh my God. Sorry to cut you there, Dave.
No problem at all. No need to apologise. In all honesty, Control in the gravel, that is a vital turning point for the McLaren driver. Of course, took the win here in, well, not here, but in Austria for the first round. And ever since then has been chasing a win ever since and into round 3. Not necessarily bad, but of course he is 2 points down and now into the pits he goes, as with Fellow Sun as well. So both the McLaren and Williams driver into the pits, Quincy.
Yep, I'm just having a look at the info to see if he has any broken wing. Does he? I'm not too sure. I can't see.
I'll have a look for you. No. It doesn't look like so. He's not changed any front wing, so he's still ahead. Well, he's behind Fellow Sun, as would make sense. Fellow Sun now coming out of the pits in 12th position. But in terms of that undercut, hasn't worked for Rolly. He's behind Control in front of his teammate Enzo, who that was his battle with. Although he has gained a little bit of time, and with the fact that he will have warmer tyres than Control in front, Control deciding to take the medium tyres as well, he's now going to have... Oh, I thought he would have DRS, but apparently not.
Yeah, he does, I believe. Does he? No, he does not.
No, he didn't. His teammate had.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure if he'd be slowing up to give his teammate to drag him along, but Control is seriously fast. I think give him another lap, he'll be 2 seconds ahead. If I'm honest, he's just one of those guys. You know, these really quick guys. Can't understand how they do it. Wish they would teach me. But yeah. So we watched the two Ferraris running in unison. Fellison's done the early stop alongside all these other guys. And as we know, he's been really the guy to do with all the strategies and the two stops and the right timing. So let's watch on and see where that gets him as he tries to overtake the Mercedes car here.
Kovachka and Ingene get a 3-second track limits penalty there, so they'll have to serve that at the end of the race. Looking at your non-stoppers as of right now, well, top 10 all haven't stopped as of right now, but then I say that, Andrew, Moksha, Russ, the Series Slayer, and no, I don't think Kovachka is not in the pits. They all follow in unison to serve their first mandatory pit stop of the evening's proceedings. I'm surprised Andy Andre hasn't come in yet to cover off Fellow Son, so Fellow Son's going to have one heck of an advantage, and he'll have DRS on Kovachka as we go through Eau Rouge to Radion. At the moment, though, I'm still trying to keep an eye on Robastion because of your question. Up into third place as of right now, medium tyres, and he's 2 seconds away from his teammate, so that would place him, as Race Chasers had a disconnect, so that would place him about, I would say, 6th or 7th place, but now he's got to be wary of the undercut and everybody else around him, so I think a safety car would be in his best interests.
Yes, I think so too. Andy leading by 7 seconds. Robastion slowly bringing the time down to his teammate. You know, it's good to see the Aston running 2 and 3. I know they had a little bit of a tough start themselves, but these are the two that I picked for the championship early on because they're such a strong team in terms of point scoring. I've known them from other leagues, so I know what they're capable of doing.
Absolutely. I was just seeing a couple of overtakes there. We were seeing Control go around the outside of Jackie Ink's corner, or Speaker's corner, depending on who you ask, and then Kovachka and Fellow Son as well were having a tussle. But more importantly, Andy Ardre to the pits. Both Aston Martins still not coming in, so we'll see what happens. Caution in Sector 2 for one of the Haas drivers. Short-lived, though, so that was an off-track moment. But now Fellow Son has the opportunity to undercut Andy Andre, and it's gonna be very close. We're approaching the final corner now with both Andy and Fellow Son. Andy gets out ahead, but with those cold tires, will Fellow Son be able to do enough? It's 2.2 seconds, so highly unlikely. He'll have to try and gain some advantage down the Kemmel Straight.
Looking at the ERS, Fellison is at 13%, so I don't think he's actually going to catch. When the ERS comes below 20, there's a power loss in the engine. Andy currently with 40% ERS. I think he's just going to push ahead, and it's going to be very hard for Fellison to pick up that gap.
I thought we
Battle of the ERSs.
Oh, moment there with Kovachka through Lecom, was on the grass there, pushed off from what I saw. Control of Russia Series still going at one another, by the way. They're providing a little entertaining battle at the top of the field, but this is not where they want to be battling. They want to be making progress. This is just slowing them both down, and as of right now, doesn't really do them any favors, so they are probably outside of the, well, I would say podium contention. But look at Robastion. He's about to catch up to his teammate as Ibo gets a 3-second penalty. But Robastion about to take the lead of the race potentially. And he's been on fire all evening. 8 laps on these medium tyres, and he's showing no signs of slowing down.
Did you think he was trying to do a last to first, maybe?
Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't complain. It's great entertainment. Andrew now into the pits, and look at that. Your last to first challenge is complete. Robastian now will take lap 9 out of 22 as the leader of the Spa Grand Prix.
I wonder how much this is going to hurt him being the second Aston Martin that's going to be into the pits, because as seen before, the undercut really isn't as powerful as I thought it would be in the beginning. And Andrew's now down a P9 currently.
Absolutely worrying signs for Robastian. Of course, we could entertain the double stack, but then that means it's more of a delay for Robastian, and then he loses more positions. But it's certainly looking like a case of he'll be outside the top 10 once pit stops are completed. Kovachka is in the pits as well. I'm just trying to gather if that's his first stop. It is, and he's all the way down in 16th now. So we tried to go late, and then we've just seen an overtake into Lacombe with control, overtaking Diego for 7th position, and now right on the back of Russell. So it looks like to me, Quincy, Control and Russell are working together to slice their way through the pack, but also they're not denying each other a bit of a hard battle whenever they are close together.
Yeah, I think Rush definitely, I've seen him at times work with people to get back in front. And not forgetting that they're on 2 different tyre strats as well. So there's only going to be a limited amount of time that Rush gets to maybe push hard on those tyres before he then has to pit again, which I think he may end up going for some more medium tyres in the end for the end stint.
Slayer there with a 3-second track limits penalty as well. So, of course, like I always say in this game, when one driver falls for that penalty, the rest usually follow in suit, and that's certainly proving to be the case here. Oh, Robastian into the pits though, Quincy.
Yep, I think minimum P9. He was less in front than when Andrew X pit, so let's see where he actually comes out. Hopefully he'll get some DRS on his way out, and but it looks like he may come out in the middle of the Ferraris but behind his teammate.
And I think it is going to be pit perfect for... Oh, wait a minute. In between the Ferraris. Wait, Quincy got that right. I thought it was going to be in front of Enzo there. But he is going to get a DRS helping, I would think. Yes, he was underneath a second at the detection zone. It's a bit of a battle in front. But here we go. The Aston Martin to the outside, down the Kemmel Straight, and back into 8th place for Robastian. And his drive to the front continues. And I think it's without a question that as long as he keeps this pace up, he's definitely driver of the day for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. And he's got some soft tyres on, so expect some blistering fast purple laps coming up pretty soon.
And I look forward to that. Control and Rush did do another battle there, and Control up into 5th place. Moksha and Andrew are also vying for position, but Andrew really more in a bit of a tight spot there with that 3-second penalty. No one around him really making that same error, keeping it between the white lines. And Quincy, I do just want to ask about that, because it's so frequent to see drivers get those 3-second penalties. Like, what is it about this game that attracts those?
Some of the tracks are actually bugged, so you think you're going over it, or you think you're fine, but then the game gives it to you, and then you put it on the replay and you are fine, but the game gives it to you anyway.
Right.
I saw someone on YouTube say that it counts if you know how sometimes you can keep one wheel on. If you don't have 2 wheels on, then you're off. That's how the game counts it. So a bit stupid, but what are you gonna do?
I see. I did not know that, so thank you very much. Just kind of outside of this top 10 for a brief moment here, Race Chase, who's had an awful race, had a disconnect earlier on in the evening. It's just been overtaken by Jonathan in the McLaren there for 16th place, so that really commiserates his race as of right now. And Race Chase has DNF'd and left the session. He's not in the pits, Quincy, either.
No, I don't know what's happened there. Maybe he's had a disconnect. Sometimes when they disconnect from the game, sometimes the AI just retires you there. Sometimes I'm not sure. I'll have to message him and ask him what went on.
We'll leave you to, well, I don't know when you're going to do that, but we'll certainly leave you to it. But that is the first DNF of the race. No safety car called, thankfully, so the racing action will continue as it is. But I'm just noticing something. I think Moksha is catching up to his teammate, Fellow Sun. Has Fellow Sun used the best of those medium tyres already?
See, I said exactly that. When Andy came out of the pits for 2 seconds and 40% ERS, you know, he was just going to push on. I don't know what's up at Fellison. Hopefully he finds some pace. If not, you'll probably see him let Moksha pass. But they need to work together because the 16-year-old superstar is hot on Moksha's trail, 6/10.
Absolutely, but guess who else is 6/10 behind? It is Robastian as Nasiri comes into the pits for his second and final mandatory stop. We'll keep an eye on. There you go, Quincy. Fastest lap of a 1:44.483. Robastian on flying form right now.
We've got a top 10 mainly of all Romanians.
Oh my, I didn't know that. Okay. There you go, guys. So, at the moment, Robastian up into 6th place. And I'm going to say now, just before his second pit stop, as Andrew makes a move up to 3rd place on Moksha, trying to disturb the Williams piece here, I'm going to say Robastian for 3rd place. So, there you go.
3rd place. Yeah, I can see that, especially with Enderou's penalty. I can see him closing up very soon. I wonder when he's going to pit, though. That's the question, because if Rush is pit already, he may have to react to that.
I think so too. Rush came onto a fresh set of medium tyres, so I do think that's probably going to be the best strategy for Robastian to try and cover off the Alpine driver. But in terms of Andy RJ, well, it was Rush Nasiri there with a 3-second penalty for track limit violations there, so sad for him, but that's probably going to mean he's unlikely for a podium, so he's probably going to be fighting with Andrew towards the end of the race if he can make the deficit up. But here we go, Andrew now is on the back of the Williams of Fellow Sun here, and Fellow Sun just not a match for Andy Andre, so I imagine if things stay as they are, Andy Andre is a hot contender for Division 5 Championship, and is probably going to be the Michael Schumacher of SSRL at some point.
Yeah, we're finding people that's going to challenge him. I know Robastian took the championship in the Monday League that these guys came from before Division 1 started. So I know that Rob has had a rough start, but I'm pretty sure that he can bring the battle in these next 14 or 13 races, or however many is left. Towards the end, yeah.
It's all getting a bit tight at the front of the field coming into the second pit stop window. Enzo has come in for a fresh set of hard tyres with 10 laps to go. So that's an interesting call. We'll see how that pays dividends as the Grand Prix comes to its conclusion. But as well, we look at some battles tightening up. We have one here, and that's for 2nd place. Andy RJ, in a race of his own, in all honesty, has really had no competition since the start of the race, and it's just been very much a Romanian roadshow for the current world champion. But now Robastian as well starting to show his colours as well, catching up to Control, and of course Control, a fast driver in his own right, but just had a couple of mistakes throughout the Grand Prix. Of course, had that moment in the first few laps. At the moment, though, who would be your bet for 2nd place, Quincy? We all know Andy RJ is probably in 1st, unless if something dramatic happens. But I would say we're both on Robastian for 3rd. Who would you be on for 2nd?
Are we talking without penalties? I'd say Andrew. I'd say Andrew without penalties. If not, I'd probably say Control. I think when he catches up to the back of Moksha, you'll see a little bit of fighting, but I think ultimately, yeah, I think ultimately Control will be in the 3rd place position. If he keeps the penalties out, I think he'll get it.
Absolutely, yes. I was thinking with the current race situation, obviously Andrew would be a good shout for second. I'm going to go and say Fellow Sun for second, even though the strategy isn't quite working out, as Rowley and Moksha are into the pit lane themselves. Moksha on his way out is ahead of Slayer, and there's Robastian making a move on the McLaren, and he's up into a provisional 4th place, but still needs to make his second pit stop, and has decided not to cover off Nasiri, which is an interesting call, Quincy.
Yeah, there's a massive fight for P12 currently as they're pushing and shoving, going up through a Rouge. This is a bit tight for the Ferrari. Backs out a little bit. Okay, let's see what he does now. Rowley is back on the ERS. He's got DRS. He's going down the Camel Straight. He pulls out to the right to get out of the slipstream, and will he take the... Oh, we've had a retirement.
Safety
with
car.
Safety car. Oh, no.
And for Andy Andre, this is absolutely bad news. He will have to make his second pit stop now, so anybody who hasn't is now forced in. For Robastian, this is perfect news for him.
I think Andy's all right. He's coming up to the pit lane currently.
I'm sorry, I was more saying because he's going to be vulnerable on that Camel Straight, so this is going to be bad news because this is his fight for the end of the race now. He is going to have I say 4 cars, but he's going to have 5 to 6 cars on his back, and he's going to have to fight with all of them. And this is just not what he would have wanted at all. But Slayer, with a retirement there, both Red Bulls are out of the race, so no points for that camp. But now Fellow Sun into the pits, and yeah, everybody following suit, and understandably so.
It'd be silly not to. But what tyres do they go for? That's the question. It's only a small amount of time left, but what tyres do they have left? Mediums for Fellow Sun, softs for Andy Andre, softs for Robastian. Enderou's gone on a set of softs as well, so this is going to be a sprint to the finish, just like we like to see, I think.
It certainly is, but I'm also thinking, like, you know, Rush the Series decided to also not stop, and I think that is a very risky call. Andrew, who is teammate to Robastian, also taking advantage of the safety car into the pits for him. Fresh set of softs as well. But I must say, Andrew gets out of the way of the top 4 here, and now it is a straight fight between Andy, Fellow Sun, Robastian Control, and maybe Moksha as well. Don't count him out either. Yeah. And let's see, I mean, I'm not seeing anybody outside of that top 7 or top 8 really making an impact towards the end of the race.
Yeah,
at least in this fight,
the guys
anyway.
With the penalties as well, with the Enderu and Rush Nasiri, you can more than likely count them off the podium, but who knows where they can push. You might see a few incidents, hopefully not another safety car, but, you know, when people get the, you know, the second lease of life that Fellow Sun's now got, 8-second gap down to nothing, you bet your ass he's going to try his best to get past Andy Andre on that straight.
Absolutely, but the only thing that worries me with Fellow Sun here, Quincy, is that he's on the medium, so don't get me wrong, Control is as well, but they're both kind of the ones where I'm thinking, I mean, they're not going to have the best of times in the early part of the stint, right? But if the soft tyres don't last for whatever reason, then they'll obviously be better, but I would say that's going to be within the final 2 laps, but that also depends when the whole... Why is Ingene on the intermediates? I've just seen that.
Oh my goodness.
That is a bug, if I'm not mistaken.
I hope so, unless he's hit a wrong button or something.
Let's just have a look. Oh, he's genuinely on the intermediates as well.
He is.
That
what is going on there?
Is, well, I say that's bad news. I mean, he has a 6-second penalty already, and the next car behind him is Sir Ibo. And obviously, I'm not going to talk too much about Ibo's pace. I think that'll be the last thing he wants to hear on this broadcast. But Ingene does have a chance to go into the pit lane, fix whatever caused that error, and then come out again. But I do think we'll be racing within the next 2 laps, and I think that is preferable if you are a soft runner there, because you do want to delay the start for as long as you possibly can, within reason, of course. Keep
the life in your tyres. Like you said earlier, I think that for the last 2 laps, the mediums will be better than the softs. But, you know, where those soft runners are, how far can they get ahead before that happens, before that little crossover? We'll just have to wait and find out, Dave.
We are going to have to wait. We do see Ingene back into the pit lane. Ibo is just coming around Campus and Stavlot. And he will be on to Blanchimont in just a few moments. But Ingene there secures his pit. No! Ingene not in the pits. Is there some sort of weather that I'm missing?
What on earth is going on?
What's the weather forecast like? Is there some rain?
Dry. Completely dry.
Completely bone dry. Okay.
Yep.
That I would not want to be. I would not want to be looking at Gunther Steiner if he was still there at the end of the race. That would be a very interesting conversation. That's all I'm gonna say. But at the moment, we're still waiting for things to get back underway with Ingene on intermediates. It should be this lap that we go. I don't know if race control will call it in. I know that the maximum amount of time the safety car can be out is 3 laps, and I think we will have had that at the end of this.
Let's hope that it comes in this lap. I know that everyone isn't all tight and whatnot, but we can't help that, unfortunately. We do have some news about Race Chase.
Yes?
He was disconnected, and when he came back into the lobby, he could not take control of his car, and when he quit, that's why the car DNF'd. So it wasn't actually his fault.
Gotcha. Thank you very much for updating us on that. I know that you said, Quincy, that you hope that we get underway, but if I'm a soft run, I'm thinking, no, just another lap, please, please, one more lap. Just anything to keep these tyres within their life. Sir Ibo, though, is starting to catch up to the back of the field, but I think race control have left this a little late to call in the safety car. I've been wrong in the past, but... yeah, we're going for another lap behind the safety car, Quincy, so it will be lap 18 out of 22 when we're officially racing, and for us soft runners, I think that's good news.
Okay, so Andy Andre, Rob, and then I'd say probably Enderu to finish off the podium, but obviously when the penalties come in, I think control will be there as a backup there. Oh no, maybe Fellison. Maybe I've got that wrong. Andy, Rob, Fellison. That's my pick for 3.
So I'm just going to cause a bit of confusion here because I love doing that. But Vero Ducco into the pits for the Haas. Ingene still out on those intermediates.
What is going on, man? You think he hasn't noticed yet how his tyres are getting super hot even on these?
Whoa! What is going on? So Kovachka there apparently causing a severe collision with Crank George there. I was just looking at the distance just down the hill into Eau Rouge to Radion, and Crank George was off the track.
10-second penalty, wow.
I couldn't explain that.
The stewards are going to have some investigating to do on that.
Absolutely. Wow, okay, I'm not quite sure what happened there, but we're going to have to go with what was said there in the graphic for the time being until stewards after the race investigate that. But just to reassure everybody, we will be underway at the end of this lap, so it'll be lap 18 out of 22. 5 laps of racing to come as long as nobody crashes out. You never know what's going to happen in SSRL. It's called the Silly Season League for a reason, although we do promote some of the most serious racing that you will see in F1 24.
Yes. Oh, control into the wall. Control into the wall, lost control of the car while trying to warm his tyres. No! Absolute scenes as the safety car is headed back in, I'm sure.
We hope.
Oh my goodness.
I would not be surprised if we saw the safety car out for just another lap after that, but of control will be a DNFer after winning in Austria and trying to find form in these next 2 rounds. His championship bid takes a massive hit. Race control don't want this safety car out for any longer than they have to. The incident is cleared, and Andy Andre will lead the field out. What is Robastian doing, though? We're 2 seconds back. He catches up eventually, so that's going to be a short-lived gap. But now, here we go. Andy Andre will go on board with and listen to when it goes underway. But, Quincy, what are you thinking now? What is your prediction now? Because all of our predictions are probably out the window.
Oh, I have an inkling that Rob may win this Grand Prix. As you know, that Kemmel Straight is lethal for a double overtake from P3. So I'm going to go on board with Rob, and I'm going to see what he does on the restart. As Andy Andre goes, Rob is already taking control of the situation, trying to jump Fellison.
And I love a good Quincy pub, but here we go in the background. Andrew and oh, it's a serious crash and has retired from the session. Is that safety car number 2? It is not. So we will continue on as well. Ingene is finally into the pits for some reason from those intermediates, as is Kovachka. I imagine he's got front wing damage. So here we go. Sebastian into the comps, but it's fellow son to the inside of Andy Andre. Can he keep it there? Virtual safety car.
Wow.
That was a late call by Race Control after Rush the Series crashed it into turn 1, and I think it was just very similar to what happened to Control a lot. Ingene back on the intermediates?
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I've seen stranger things, but now all of a sudden we have a final... Well, we're behind safety car conditions again, and for the soft runners, well, now you're not feeling so silly, but fellow son... Oh, dearie me, what is he going to be going through? As well as Moksha as well. They're thinking, oh no, we've chosen the one compound here. But of course, it's very hard to predict drama like this.
No, yeah, I honestly thought they would have been a clean end to the race. Maybe a couple of nudging here or there. Yeah, very exciting stuff. Sebastian up 17 places and nearly had Fellison, but Fellison with his...
no.
Oh no, severe collision.
And there is a piece of front wing missing from Andrew as well, so he's going to have to come into the pits and get that sorted out. Not really any choice. Oh, that is a big chunk of wing missing from the car, from the Aston Martin.
That is his race over, unfortunately.
I'm afraid so. Indeed it is. So that means at the end of the day, with Andrew coming in, that's Enzo and Rowley up one position.
He stayed out. Stayed out.
Vero Ducker. Oh, we're underway again. We're back underway. Here we go. The battle will resume. Sorry to cut over you there, Quincy.
No worries.
But at the moment now, the battle for first will resume, and it's going to be Andy Andre leading into the Rouge, and it's Farrowson to the inside already. Opportunistic, but Vero Ducker has retired in the pit lane. That doesn't matter, though. So that will continue on as fellow son has somehow got DRS, and that means Andy is vulnerable to Sebastian behind. Sebastian to the inside. Andy cuts him off fairly, I would assume, but look at Andrew as well. If he can keep this up, he could get at least 4th place, but he needs Moksha to have a good battle with Andrew, and of course we know Andrew has sustained damage, so that's going to be difficult. What's happened?
Rain is falling. It's a light shower.
Oh my word, and we did not predict this, so that's what Ingene saw, but Ingene had a moment through Eau Rouge into Radion, so he's, well, there is somebody crashed. It was Vero Ducker, I do apologise, but here we go again. Sebastian to the inside of Andy Andre for 2nd place. They're still side by side. What is the inside becomes the outside, and then inside again for Campos. Here we go. Andy Andre somehow still side by side, and they still go side by side as Andy somehow stays ahead. And here we go, Andrew now trying to get through Blanchimont. He's got a 3-second penalty. He doesn't care. Andre White going into a bus stop. Andrew with another 3-second penalty and having to take avoiding action. He misses the breaking point there, but that could be due to the rain as well. Now there's Moksha in the middle of all of this, but fellow son leads the Belgian Grand Prix on lap 20, Quincy.
Oh, Fellison leading in the wet. You couldn't write this stuff, Dave. Honestly, what is going on with the changes here?
And there's been another.
I did not see rain on my bingo card.
I did not see this either. We predicted a fully dry race, but DRS is still activated, so Sebastian is going to have another go, but Andy will also have DRS for defense as well. So here we go into Lacombe. Everybody stays as they were for the time being. 3 laps to go. Rowley swaps with his teammate, and Andrew finds a way past despite that penalty he's got. And that front wing is still missing. I wonder if the rain is giving him a bit of assistance now with some grip through the corner. I wonder if that's giving him that little nudge of oversteer he would need with that missing end plate. But at the moment, the top 3 are nip and tuck. You couldn't call this. And with 2 laps to go at the line, It is going to be, well, one we can't call, but this is your top three. It is fellow son, Andy Andre, and Robastian. Andrew there, due to, of course, missing his breaking point, as Andrew gets another 3-second penalty. But Quincy, this is a heart-pounding end to the Grand Prix.
I honestly think Andy Andre may be running smaller wings than Robastian, because he should be able to take him on that straight, but with that double slipstream and DRS, but he just couldn't get it done.
And you're right there. I did notice that as well. There is also a fight going on for 10th place. Diego there fighting with Jonathan and Kwan there. But at the moment, we're keeping an eye on the top three who have just gone through the pit stop, and the DRS zone will activate again. Race Control have not declared this wet at the moment, and you can see the straight line advantage there the Mercedes had, even though it was a short start finish straight and a short zone. Oh, whoa, as they burst, and Martin there getting it a little bit wrong on the exit of the first corner there, which is called La Source. I should get that right. But anyway, look at Andy Andre. He's got to run all of a sudden through Eau Rouge Terradion. DRS open, and here we go. Fellow son is trying to break that slipstream, but unsuccessfully so. So Andy Andre to the lead of the race. Fellow son trying to fight back, and all of a sudden Robastian is above a second, but will probably use the corners now to try and get back within a second of these two drivers. But it is surely now a matter of time.
Yep, who wins out? You've got one more lap to see if Fellison can do the impossible. You know, Andy gapped him by 8 seconds after that first stint. So let's see if he can pull it back. And it is raining, and you know what Fellison's like in the rain, no matter the tyre. So we will see how that ends up in a moment.
Robastian there just going wide. That was through Fagné, as Diego there gets a 3-second penalty. He's battling with the Aston Martin of Andrew there. I don't know how Andrew's made it all the way down there, but that is his race as of right now. But Robastian not really been able to keep up, and neither has fellow son. So this race for first has calmed down a little bit, and I imagine there is some battery saving going on between the three drivers. Just to let you know about intermediate runner Ingene there. He's... Oh, 3-second penalty for fellow son. So he's out of the running for the win, unless if one of these two make a mistake. So that's unfortunate for him. But Robastian there might have a go into turn 1. No, he doesn't. Oh, no! Robastian makes contact with the Williams, Quincy.
Oh my goodness, he just braked a little bit too late for the worsening weather conditions, and I believe he's just thrown away second place. Oh no.
And Robastian there with a drive to remember there has thrown it into arrears with that little mistake. He still has DRS on Andrew though down the Camel Straight, but it will matter very little. That's now Andrew up into 3rd place there. So Moksha goes down to 4th, but of course with the penalties to consider, that is still 3rd place essentially. But Robastian needs to do a bit of work to try and catch back up. Kwan is up into 9th as well in the background. Of course, penalties to consider in that as well. He could even get 8th, but he also needs to keep it on track there. So we'll see how that all plays out. But the Ferraris are also locked into a battle for 6th position. But it is all, well, it's certainly been filled with drama. Reminds me of my first time here in SSRL, Singapore, Season 2, Round 2. And that was a very wet and dramatic race towards the end of that one.
Yep, disqualifications and all sorts. I remember that day. Oh, Wenderu slides a little bit on the exit of that turn there. Fellison holding it on. He knows he can't win it, unfortunately, but he's keeping that nice gap so his penalties won't matter. So I reckon Moksha, obviously, is more than likely going to get his P3 again for his 3rd consecutive P3 for both divisions, because as you know, for the last 2 races he ended up on the podium. So that'll be Andy Andre coming across the line first there.
And that is an Andy Andre win in Spa. He finally gets his first win after 3 races. It will be Moksha into 3rd. Robastian with a 16-place improvement. And now Rowley and Enzo are going to do battle towards the end of the race. But it's Rowley who wins out there. Then it's Crank George who secures 8th. But for 9th, it's Kwan. Getting the place there, and look at Andrew there having to serve his penalty at the end. But Sir Ibo take a bow. You've got 13th place as it stands right now, although oh no, he does not. He has 6 seconds worth of penalties to Kavachka's 3, so that means 13th place will actually go to the Kicksauber. And Ingene there tried to play it smart, but was just not smart enough to be on the right tyre. It will be 15th place for him, but that I do believe is still in the points, right, Quincy?
Yep, still 1 point. He should have just gone to the softs, because as you know, when the conditions worsen, the softs are still good for a couple of laps of the crossover. So there's something for him to learn next time.
Absolutely. Ingene there, rounding out your 15 drivers. We'll, of course, go through the results again after what was a drama-filled Grand Prix. It looked like it was going to be calm, but then a couple of safety a safety car, and then a virtual safety car later, and we had what was an explosive finish to the Belgian Grand Prix. But Quincy, I think that's definitely up there in classic races for sure.
Yep, classic SSRL races, loads of drama as per usual. Andy Andre winning as per usual in Spa. What is that now? Did you say earlier that he'd won the last 2? So that's 3 for 3?
No, so he came in 2nd place. So he was 2 for 2 in 2. But now he is on his 3rd race. He finally took the win. So he is now.
Oh, okay.
He's got his first win in Division 1 and his 3rd time, but extends his championship lead because Control was unable to finish. Finished ahead of Fellow Sun as well, but Fellow Sun still with a good result there. 2nd place, nothing to be ashamed about at all.
No, not at all. Just track limits kind of I think once he knew the track limits, you could see once the track limits hit him, you could see that he'd calmed down with the fighting and he just took it home, which is, you know, another smart thing to do when you possibly could lose out on your podium as well. So another Andy and Fellison 1, 2, and Moksha 3. Same result as the last race, I believe, in Singapore, out in Division 2.
Absolutely. So we'll, of course, have an interview with the top 3, which after all of that, I do believe was Andy, Fellow Son, and Robastian, I think, at the end.
Moksha.
No, Moksha, you're correct. Sorry, my apologies. Yeah. I correct myself.
I will get those guys to come in. Let me do my little thing and I will be
absolutely right. And I think one thing to note with Moksha as well is that, again, he played that role of keeping the drivers at arm's length, came home 3rd place, and that means a bit of a fun stat for you. Moksha is 3 for 3 in 3.
And I'm sure he'll be happy at that. He's showing a lot of form lately, which is very good for the competition and for the Williams. You know, Williams 2-3 there. That's really good for the World Constructors Championship there.
Absolutely. Let's make sure they all come in. Andrew just kind of saying in the Discord here in general, he had no rear on his setup, so it looks like he just messed something up here. Our drivers are now starting to come in. We're just waiting for Andy, and there he is. Andy, what? Congratulations. Some win that was. There must have been a little pressure towards the end of the race there, but in the end, you held out with absolutely great spirit. Can you just take us through those final few laps?
Thank you. Yes, I can for sure. For once, I had a pretty straightforward race. It's been a long since such an eventful free one. Qualifying went great. Both laps were good enough for pole, and the race pace was very good. Initially, I could keep the distance and get out of DRS before the only safety car. And yeah, the final laps, as you said, were pretty tense. People were fast behind on new tires. There, everyone had got their eye in by that point. Fellow Sun was a lot faster than at the beginning, and yeah, it wasn't an easy drive to the finish line, but yeah, it was good enough for the win. So I'll take that.
Absolutely. And well, though, like, you know, what was your thoughts after the virtual safety car? Because we were kind of talking between ourselves, Quincy, me and Quincy, and we were just thinking, like, you know, you're going to be vulnerable on that first lap down the Kemmel Straight, like, Robastian could have a go at you. Fallowson will definitely have a go at you. So what were your thoughts just going in, just trying to strategize all of that? Would you rather have been, well, in the end, you were decided to be the hunted rather than the hunter, but how did you kind of make your mind up as the track, went from dry to a little bit moist?
I didn't give it much of a thought, strategy-wise. I didn't know exactly what the final laps were gonna be like regarding the DRS. So really, I had no way to be sure where I should position myself. So I just went flat out without taking any risks. And yeah, happily the safety car came in at a good time for me. So I had new soft tires, and I think I had a bit of a advantage over I don't know 5 or 6 laps, whatever it was at the end compared to the guys on the mediums.
Mm.
So yeah, I wasn't too worried honestly, but in the end it turned out to be much much closer than I thought. But still happy I could get it home first.
You actually had a little bit of a fun statistic just going in. I'm going to end the interview there because we've obviously got 2 other drivers we've got to get to. But you went 2 for 2 in 2, and now finally in race number 3, you got your first win. So congratulations on your first win in Division 1, Season 5. And I imagine we will be seeing you here for the next few weeks to come. Thank you so much, Andy, for taking my questions.
Yep, thank you too very much. See you next week.
See you next week.
See you tomorrow.
Well, so yeah, see you tomorrow. Oh yeah, flipping heck.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've
of
got to
course.
do this
We'll
twice.
see you tomorrow.
All right then. See you tomorrow, Andy.
See you tomorrow.
All right. Well, fellow son, it just wasn't quite meant to be. Congratulations on second place. Nothing too shabby about that. As you did start the season on DNF, there's got to be some solace in taking a first and a second in races 2 and 3.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with the second. I was hoping that it would be a safety car, which came later on in the race, but I think it just stayed out 1 lap too long for me. I was hoping that maybe on the medium I can overtake Andy in the end and pull away, but I just can't keep up with him in the second and third sector. He's gone.
Yeah.
I
thought
couldn't
he
keep
might
up
have
with
been...
him. He was just pulling the gap all the time. I was driving as much as I could.
Absolutely. I was thinking as well, like, we call you the Rainmaster here, but what on earth happened? Why weren't you the master in the rain today?
What rain? Do you mean that little spit in the end?
Of course. I mean, rain is rain.
To be fair, it wasn't even slippery until the last lap. It just felt like it was dry.
Oh, okay. Well, the
For
DRS
me,
was still active,
least.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it was far away from rain. Maybe tomorrow we get a full wet race and I can try again.
I don't think Quincy's hoping for that, just in the back of his
Yeah,
head.
I love rain.
Yeah,
Oh,
Honestly,
he loves rain.
yeah, because
Yeah.
it's the equalizer of all men, and I've always said
Yes.
that. You don't know how you can drive until you're in the rain. I'm actually a lot better in rain, as proven by the pole that we got in the first race. So I'm a little bit better in rain. But yeah, Fellowson,
Let's
I had money on you up the Camel Straight on the last couple of laps, but it seemed like the penalty kind of took it out of you, and I saw the fight sort of leave your body.
I had no ERS. I was pushing 100%. I tried to catch up with them. I thought I was going to be faster on the straight, I was just fast enough to get next to Andy, and but yeah, I couldn't really do anything. Man, he was just too fast. I have to look at my setup or to do something because it is very frustrating to see people just go,
Pull the gap, yeah, because
4 or
you came
5
out
tenths faster than you, and you just see them get a little bit further every lap until you don't see them anymore.
Yeah, we saw
Yeah.
live as you came out of the pits. You were only 2 seconds behind, and then it turned quickly into 8. I think he may be running a little bit more wing, possibly, because the
Yeah,
sector 2 is
definitely.
where.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is some sort of cheating allegation I don't want any part of. Guys, stop this conversation. There'll be conspiracy theories flying for days.
He's definitely doing 50-50 wings.
Oh my god.
It was
Okay.
Sure.
6-3, guys. It's
But
no
thank you for
secret.
your race, Fellison. It was great to watch you guys battle once again. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
thanks.
It,
Thank you.
it was fantastic. And Fallison, again, congratulations on second. I will be probably seeing you tomorrow.
Well, hopefully.
All right.
Cool.
Have a very good night, and I'm glad you're feeling better as well. All right, we move on to 3 for 3 for 3. Moksha, hello again. Third place for you. This is becoming a bit of a recurring habit. How were those last few laps for you?
Oh, they were very awful. I didn't believe to get still the podium. I mean, I was aiming for it for the whole race, and then I went for the undercut for Andrew and Fellison, and then exactly the safety car came out. Uh, it was kind of over for me already, and then yeah, I was lucky to just stay within 2 seconds or 3 seconds to profitize from the spin from Sebastian. Um, he must be driven a hell of a race because I never saw him in front, and then the safety car came out. I mean, of course, I was a bit unlucky, but he was there at the time, and yeah, very unlucky last or penultimate lap to spin it there, and yeah, I mean, I take it, but with the safety car, I wasn't believing it anymore, to be honest.
I do just want to say before we do continue on any further, Moksha, we are struggling to hear some of what you're saying at the moment, so your signal's just sounding a bit funny, but we did catch most of that. I did want to talk about strategy with you as well. What was there? I mean, was there any hints of rain there on any of your radars towards the end of there? Because it did catch Quincy by surprise as well, who had a bit of a radar built in. With, I think it's SimHub for him. And we didn't see that coming at all. So did you get any information about rain towards the end of the race?
Yeah, I mean, at the end, there was no information of rain, but I think lap 15 or lap 14, they told me it's about 10 to 15 minutes. And I was not prepared to happen it that fast. But yeah, it wasn't really noticeable, as Fellison already told. You could stay on your line. You could keep the turns full throttle, which you used to. The last lap you needed to lift a bit, but it wasn't very noticeable, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay, thank you very much. Quincy, do you have any questions?
No, just congratulations, Moksha. We did say at the beginning of the stream, never count out Moksha for a podium because you are on form at the moment, my guy. So just keep up the good work.
Thanks, man. Very fun to drive with you.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
wait until you watch it back, mate. It was there's some moments there. They're really good.
Yeah, I wait for the interview to finish, and then I will directly go with it. So I will have fun, definitely.
All right.
All right,
Well,
wonderful. We'll see you tomorrow.
see you tomorrow, Moksha. Again, congratulations on third. He's already left. But anyway, Quincy, that is the top for your interview. Did you actually have any questions for Andy Andre? I didn't really stop to ask you there. Sorry.
No questions for Andy. Just congratulations. I've invited Rob into the chat just to ask him what happened in quali because that's not usually where we see him down there at P20. So Rob.
Hi everyone. Nothing really happened. I needed to try something different for this race and maybe for all the races because I think I'm lacking a bit of wheel-to-wheel knowledge. So I might consider doing all the races left, doing P20 to maybe P5.
Or just to
So
improve on your racing.
yeah, just to improve my wheel-to-wheel knowledge. Yeah.
Oh,
That's it. Yeah, nothing
oh.
really happened. I just want to try something different. I was expecting, I mean, my goal was P5. I didn't actually I didn't actually try to win the race because I knew the guys that are in the front are faster than me, but could have been a P2. But in turn one in the last lap, I tried to brake at 100 meters, but something really happened and I just rammed into Felsen rear wing,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I think
my
I
wing
caught that
was
live.
broken. Yeah, I mean, it was fun. I really had a good race with Andy, and by this chance, I need to apologize him because I had a little incident with him in Singapore last time. It was unfortunate. It wasn't. I mean, probably could be my fault, but I really don't know. I just ruined his race, and I really felt sorry for that. But I'm happy that he win tonight. He was in a better shape than us. I'm still a bit upset that I couldn't finish in P2, but it's just a game. I did
Nah,
this
it's not just a
P20.
game.
No, I mean I really spoke with who it was Sinful because in the other league, Mad Bull Racing League, I just cancelled out because I didn't want to participate anymore. And I had a little chat with him, and I told him that I don't find any joy in this game. Mostly because I'm playing Warzone all the time with my boys, and whoever played Warzone in the past knows that in 2020, when the lockdown was in full place, we had the OG map Verdansk, and this map is coming back in this spring. So yeah,
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
going to concentrate too much on this game. So I'm doing I'm doing last to first maybe all the races just to improve my knowledge.
Okay. That's absolutely no problem. But it's good to have you here, and I'm glad you haven't quit because the racing that you perform and stuff, minus the incidents, are very good when you go wheel to wheel with people. So I hope you find the joy a little bit because I know a lot of us are losing a little bit of joy because of this game. But let's hope you get some of that back and we don't lose you to Warzone.
Oh no, I'm not going to leave this league. I told also to Sinful, I'm not going to leave neither Mad Bull Racing League, but I will just trying to finish
Yeah,
this championship. But of course, when it's time to race in SSRL, I will join. Don't worry.
wonderful. Wonderful. It's good to hear. Thank you for your time. And Andy, congratulations again.
Thank you guys. Bye bye.
Thank you, guys. See you next week, but and tomorrow also. Bye.
Tomorrow, yeah.
See you tomorrow, Andy.
Bye.
Dave, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for letting me join you in the commentary box once again. It may be a reoccurring thing at this point because I'm clearly not fast enough to keep up with these guys. Honestly, they're super quick, super quick.
Absolutely. And of course, I do just kind of want to say as well, like, we wish all the best to Herman. We hope you're doing well. And we hope to see you back here as soon as we possibly can. Herman, come back. We miss you when you can, when you're ready. But Quincy, thank you very much for inviting me along as well. It was thanks to you asking last night. And so,
No
couldn't turn
problem.
down the opportunity.
Honestly, thanks for making it. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you tomorrow, Dave.
We'll see. Well, I'll see you tomorrow as well.
See you tomorrow.
All right. Bye for now. Anyway, guys, that is all from SSRL for Division 1. Mondays, every Monday at Mondays at 8 p.m. GMT. Just to go through your calendar as of right now, we are off to Portimao next week for the first qualifying session, full qualifying session even, of the season. Then it's a 1 week break, and well, I will be commentating the next 2 rounds from the US of A, so look forward to seeing daylight in this stream, well, in my streams. And then after that, I'll be back, and then at Canada, then Monza for our second full qualifying session. Then it is 10th to the 11th of March for another break, and then from there on out, we're off to Australia, China, Bahrain, and then Suzuka will host our third full qualifying session for another 1 week break. Then it's Saudi Arabia, Netherlands, Miami, and then the finale at the wonderful Silverstone circuit for our final full qualifying format. But from wherever you may be in the world, we wish you at SSRL a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Special thank you to the drivers this evening as well for coming in and making the racing very exciting. And thank you to all of you for watching, where even if you've chatted, even if you've VOD watched, you are all welcome all the same. But that is all from us. We will see you tomorrow right here at 7:30 p.m. GMT. So that's where you should actually be on Mondays, 7:30 p.m. GMT, Monday and Tuesday. See you again. Bye for now.